Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 7. Another Zone of Special Operations, ZOSO, is likely to be named before the end of March. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says allocations have been made in the 2019-2020 budget, and once it is approved, ZOSOs will be established in several communities across the island.
We intend to and have budgeted for a few more communities in the coming fiscal year. And we believe that these interventions through the zones of special operations will contribute to the reduction of the murder rate, to the reduction of crimes generally, but to, more importantly, Mr. Speaker, establish peace in our country.
The Prime Minister was addressing Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives, where he successfully moved 2 motions to extend the Mount Salem and Denham Town ZOSOs for a further 60 days. The communities are currently in the building phase of the operation, with land titling activities ongoing in Mount Salem and a $184 million infrastructure improvement project being implemented in Denham Town. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica has sought and received support from the European Union to execute the ZOSOs and other intervention programs.
More and more, Mr. Speaker, our development partners are taking interest in the zones of special operations because the challenge of violence in communities is not just a Jamaican occurrence. It is happening right across the Caribbean and in the wider Latin American region. So what we are doing is being studied. People are taking interest in it to see how well it works.
The Prime Minister asserts that the special security measures have been effective, as no murder has been recorded in Mount Salem and only 1 in Denham Town since their declaration as ZOSOs. As at February 4, the island has recorded 46 fewer murders than it did in the same period last year.
All possible measures that are permitted within our constitutional arrangements are being used.
Entities in Jamaica can freely do business with Alko without the threat of sanctions. Mining Minister Robert Montego has given that assurance as the United States government moves to lift the sanctions imposed on UC Russell, the majority owner of the Alko bauxite plant in St. Catherine. The minister says this is possible as independent persons now control a significant block of the shares of N+, UC Russell's parent company. In addition, he says UC Russell has agreed to transparency in its operations by undertaking ongoing audits and certification.
This, Mr. Speaker, is positive news for the government and people of Jamaica. It is positive news for Alko and its over 1,000 employees who had faced an uncertain future when the sanctions were initially announced. It is positive news for Jamaican companies and individuals that conduct business with Alko. It is indeed positive news for the economy.
On April 6 last year, the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control added 7 Russian oligarchs and 12 companies they control, including UC Russell, to its designated nationals list of OFAC sanctions. In other mining news, the Portfolio Minister has ordered the Jamaica Bauxite Institute, JBI, to conduct an audit of the country's mud lakes. Minister Robert Montego says the audit should assess the strength of the mud lakes' walls so that there are no breaches of groundwater systems. He points out that the bauxite industry is using a new disposal technique which involves stacking dry and thick mud and draining the mud so the liquid content evaporates. Mud lakes are the residual disposal areas for the bauxite industry. They contain properties such as iron oxide, aluminum oxide, and sodium oxide. Minister Montego says it is important for the industry and communities to coexist because bauxite is important to the island's economy. The Education Ministry will be building 17 new schools across the island. Portfolio Minister Senator Ruel Reid says submissions have been made to the Public Investment Management Secretariat for approval to construct the 10 primary and 7 high schools.
And PIM-C will make the final decision, and then as funds are available, the projects will be approved. We have to make sure there are enough institutions, publicly funded institutions, so no child will be left behind.
Senator Reid was addressing his ministry's press briefing on Tuesday. He pointed out that close to $2 billion had been spent on school infrastructure and maintenance since 2016. Spanish hotel chain H10 officially broke ground yesterday on its new property in Coral Spring, Trelawney. The Ocean Coral Spring by H10 will be open by year-end. It represents an investment of $250 million by the Spanish international brand. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the hotel will further improve the allure of Trelawney as one of the country's preferred tourist areas.
Trelawney, in the next 3 years, will have the second largest inventory of tourism rooms in Jamaica because the expansion of Royalton is on track. Another 1,200 rooms, 6 on each side. The expansion of Oyster Bay is on track. Another 500 rooms. Then there is Amatera next door, which will start with 1,200 rooms. And then there is harmonization to come with another 2,000 or so rooms.
Ocean Coral Spring will consist of 2 5-star all-inclusive hotels and several entertainment and gastronomic facilities. And finally, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica is offering free blood pressure and blood sugar tests at a number of health centers throughout February as part of Heart Month observation. The foundation will also be hosting a medical symposium for health professionals and a CPR day to teach persons how to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation. In the meantime, Executive Director Deborah Chen is encouraging persons to monitor their diets to help prevent heart disease.
There is a lot of evidence linking sugar with sweetened beverages and obesity, which increase your risk for diabetes and then heart disease. So we just need to be mindful. So certainly, if you watch what you drink and drink water instead, then you would go a far way to maintaining your calories and your healthy weight.
Mrs. Chen was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. With data showing that about 400 million people globally are diabetic, this February's Heart Month observation focuses on the theme, Diabetic Heart, Are You at Risk? And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.